Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Sorry, I had a little issue getting live then for some reason. So hopefully my internet connection is okay, and that we can crack on with some good success with this one. So anyway, I have a much better day today than I did yesterday. So if you're not familiar with the channel, this is Vanguard Tactics, and this is all about competitive 40k. Now, although that might be the case, I'm not a channel that supports winning at all costs. I'm all about sportsmanship, winning the game in the right way. And obviously, I've got huge admiration for all phases of, or all types of, in different ways to play the game. But yeah, for us, this chat's going to be about basically competitive play, a little bit what I'm up to in terms of this lockdown that we're in. So I'm currently in day 4. And for those who don't know me, Stephen Box is my name. So yeah, guys, welcome to the channel if you haven't come across us before. And if you have a question about anything 40k related, please pop it in the chat. Now, remember, guys, I do have a very dry, sarcastic sense of humor, so please be aware of that. I do warn you now. And I will be answering questions in regards to the more maybe competitive side of things. So if you want like help with your list or whatever, or you ask me for my advice, it's probably going to be more from a slightly more competitive standpoint rather than a general one. So yeah, let me know what you guys are all up to, how your day's been, what you've been, if you've had any hobby on recently. I'll tell you about my hobby story shortly, but basically ended up with this slight issue there. So yeah, guys, want to know where you're from? Please let me know. We got Felix from the Netherlands. How you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. So yeah, today has been an okay day. Have been working more on the community that I have with the mentorship, planning out every single day of the week what's going to be going on for as of next week. So every single day next week we have, and going forward we have a live or we have a new sort of lesson, theory aspect. Going forward every single day, there'll be great, fresh content. So that's what I've been planning at the moment. Sam said, a solid 40k today podcast hit, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah, really a pleasure and honor to be on the 40k podcast. So it's called 40k today, and I spoke a little bit about my journey, how I started Vanguard Tactics. It's only a short segment, only 10-15 minutes long, about how I kind of overcome things like anxiety and like depression type symptoms. So yeah, kind of overcome that and set up Vanguard Tactics in the process. So yeah, Vanguard Tactics I've got so much love for, and also the community, because he's given me so much in return, which is also why I decided to do these daily lives, because I want to make sure people are not feeling isolated. I want to make sure that, you've got somebody to talk to at 6 o'clock every day about 40k. And also, like, it's great to see you guys talking to each other as well and building that, the channel community. And that's great. I love that. I absolutely think that's fantastic. So, but yeah, loads to come soon for the mentorship program. I'm going to expand it, make it bigger. I've got some people to help me that have graduated from the course, Brian being one of those, who's just entered in the chat now. He will be known as one of the Vanguard Tacticians, is their official title. I've been working on some new podcast artwork, so really happy with the new artwork that's going to be coming out. So if you see a change in the branding side of things, I wasn't really happy with the current one, with the green thing. I wasn't really happy with it, with the text. I'm going to be, got a new image. It looks a bit fresher, a bit cooler, bit more engaging, bit clear on the title. So yeah, new podcast artwork. I then need to edit the podcast that me and the guys did this week, which I think you guys are going to really, really enjoy. It's all about how to get good with your army. Like, I'm not a very talented 40k player. I put my hand up. I'm not a talented player, but I work hard. I work real hard, and I'm very critical, which is why I think I've got better as time's gone on, because I'm just an absolute grafter. So yeah. Got some Blood Angels fans in here. How you guys doing? Felix has said, doing fine, mate. Heard your podcast on Blood Angels. Great stuff. I heard you saying that you want to fit in a second Vanguard vets in your list. I did the math, how I noticed the Vanguard vets were. Yeah. The second unit of Vanguard vets, I'm going to have to try and drop some stuff to fit them in. Basically 3 units of scouts, and I might just have to drop all the thunder hammers off them and just go power fists. Maybe 4 fists per squad, or maybe 2 hammers in one, and we'll see what happens. But I'm so happy with the current rendition. It doesn't really need to change too much anyway. It was just an idea to play around with. But yeah, the next army I'm working on is Sisters of Battle. I was going to do some painting last night, but I decided in the end, my stepdad very kindly offered to help build some models with me. So he built up another 5 Zephyrins, and then I started building Repentia, but managed to slice my finger off. We've got like a nice little flap here. So I had to stop that. And I made a big mistake, and I ignored the instructions. If you buy Repentia, do not ignore the instructions. Don't just cut them out willy-nilly, because I tell you what, you ain't ever going to get them stuck back together again. I'm looking at a cutting mat full of arms and bodies and chainswords, and I've got no clue how to stick them together. So green stuff is going to have to just like, they're going to have like some weird looking limbs, I think. But don't ignore those instructions, guys. They're there for a reason. They are there for a reason. What questions we got then? So drop your questions in the chat, guys. Say hello. Hey VT, just got into the game and bought a Sisters of Battle army box. What should the next couple of steps be? So which box did you buy? Let me know which box you bought. What is the current setup of Vanguard Vets? So 8-man unit, 2 with hammers, 2 with fists, all with storm shields. Philip, would you, in any case, drop the squad size of Sangers under 8, or is 8 the minimum? I think 8's my minimum. 8's like the perfect number. I don't think 7 works, you know, and it's an odd number. I hate having odd numbers on my trays when it's in double ranks. Don't like that. So 8's the magic number. What do you think the next Psychic Awakening is going to be? Well, obviously after the Orc one and the Space Wolf one, probably Knights. Probably. Who knows? Do you think Mephiston is competitive? I notice you aren't using him in your list. That answers your question. Not that he isn't competitive, but don't need him. Again, like a lot to say yesterday, to repeat yesterday anyway. I don't use the characters. If you're using, I use my units more than I use my characters. So they're, you know, just habits you need to get into is focus on using your units rather than characters. And that goes for all aspects of the game. All right. Okay, so what have we got here? Have you seen Shadow Spectres do any good work? Yeah, I really like Shadow Spectres, actually, especially if you run big units of 10 and you sort of really buff them up with like Conceal to make them another -1 to hit, lightning fast reflexes, guide them, fortune. But you need to invest a lot, but your army really has to be kind of built around them, basically. So, but yeah, they certainly got some good play. I think the models are incredible as well. And I think they did come down in points, so that certainly helps them. Running Vindicare Assassin with Deathwatch, and it's been working out really well. Has it, though? How has it been working out really well? That's what I want to know. Because I don't think the Vindicare Assassin's that good. It's good when you run Stevie's Sniper School, which Brian will tell you about. I wrote a little list for Brian. Brian, I'm allowed to tell people about the list or not? Let me know. Stevie's Sniper School is called. Sniper School. Stevie's Sniper School is the name. Then I'll tell you what the list is, and that is brutal. Bobby Clark, I'm a painter, not a gamer, but really appreciate the amount of effort you put into your things and appeal to different types of hobby. Oh, no, appreciate that. And again, on the mentorship program, one aspect we haven't really covered is the hobby side of things. So every Friday is going to be hobby night. So every Friday, I've got a few like pro painters on the mentorship course that want to get good at the game in terms of their competitive play, as well as, you know, their painting stuff, because they just want to know what units are good and just enjoy when they're playing the game to feel like they're in control. That's what the mentorship's all about. So every night we're going to have a hobby night, and I'm going to be inviting my professional painters that are on the course to go live, share their tips. You never know, they might get some business out of it. But yeah, that's what it's going to be about, is sharing knowledge. And that's going to be every Friday on the Vanguard Tactics mentorship community that we have for all those people that are a student. So David said the army set that comes with a squad Repentia, Canoness. Not sure what my next unit should be, leaning on more squads, Exorcist or Celestine. So sisters, Celestine is a must. You get a Canoness. You need a priest. You need a Magifier. So priest and a Magifier, you definitely need them. You need another unit of Battle Sisters, because you get 10, you need 15. Okay, so 3 units of 5 to run for that battalion. You probably need, and you can convert one of them into another Canoness, so you don't need to buy any more Canonesses. Just use one of them, you know, because you'll get a spare 5, so convert one into a Canoness. And then probably Zephyrin, they're really good. So convert your 5. Don't build your shooty ones yet. Those ladies, buy a box of Zephyrins. And then you can add on certain parts and stuff, save as many chain swords in power swords as you possibly can, and then load that out. So you've got 10 Zephyrins. Convert the Penton engines into mortifiers. Can do that quite easily with a couple of heavy bolters. I did it with Deathwatch ones. Then, and I changed the front piece to get 1 box of mortifiers. So then you've got a unit of 3 mortifiers then, really good. And then like the front piece that you get, you stick on top of the Arco flag on the top of the Penton engine. That's a good idea. And then a big box of Repentia. But like I said, you actually need 3 boxes of Repentia. You need 27 of them, okay? But you could put an Exorcist in, but go combat. Bloody Rose is the way forward, in my opinion. I was thinking Admech Crons. Adam, what were you thinking about in terms of Admech and Crons? Let me know. Someone's building a Tesseract Vault. So Stevie's Sniper School consists of the following units. I might get this wrong, Brian, so tell me if I'm wrong. An Ultramarines Librarian with a Relic Seal of Oath, and then 3 units of Eliminators. Then it contains 3 Vindicare Assassins. And then it contains 6 units of Rangers, all with the sniper rifles. So that's 9 plus another, it's about 20 oddish snipers that are just brutal. So that's the list basically, and then a big unit of destroyers to do the heavy lifting. So yeah, apparently Brian can't get anyone to play him yet with that list. Who else? What other messages we got in the chat? Having issues with my Harlequins against Primaries, my mates, and I play at 1500. Is the answer just more bikes? Currently running 2 squads of 5 at 1500. I just feel like my boats die too fast. Yep, I would agree. More bikes or big units of 12 infantry. So just loads of infantry is a really good way to run Harlequins. And then you buff up the unit with -2s to hit, all that stuff. Double move it, send it into combat, fight twice. No, fight. I don't think you can fight twice with Harlequins. Only the character can, just Solitaire. But you can get +1 to wound with extra attacks. That's always nice. Just kill something in combat and go from there. Literally do that 3 times and you'll just wipe everything out. After having my hobby stuff, building equipment locked down at work, just ordering more to an Amazon locker, hailing quite local in Bristol. Yeah, nice. Got to get that hobby in. Yeah, and the reason why it's Ultramarines, not Raven Guard, is because Ultramarines get the relic reroll hits and wounds against a target, and the Librarian can cast a power to get you a CP back every turn. So it's really good. You just go, right, that's the toughest character they've got. Reroll all hits and wounds, and you're just fishing for 5s, because then every 5 you do is a mortal wound. So because you get the +1 to wound when the character doesn't, when the sergeant doesn't fire. So you're going to get 6 shots, rerolling hits, rerolling wounds. If it doesn't wound, you reroll it because you're fishing for mortal wounds, basically. So yeah. Painted Dawn, remember seeing you've put Harlequins on 32s. Yeah, they should be on 25s, but I feel like Harlequins should probably go on those 28mm bases, the same as Banshees. They just look better. If anything, I have, by putting them on 32s, is actually modeling for disadvantage. You want combat units to be on 25s. But yeah, so it is modeling for disadvantage, but and no one's ever had a problem with them. Do you think Games Workshop will release a Primaries version of Death Company anytime soon? Well, there are Death Company intercessors, but they don't have jump packs, so they're just not really a viable option at the moment. Not competitively anyway, unless you put them in a repulsor, but then you're spending a lot of points for one unit that you could just give jump packs to. And I think that's the better way to go with them. Yeah, someone here saying about a podcast where they're talking about more infantry. Absolutely agree. Yeah, 3 big units of 12 is my favorite way to play Harlequins. In terms of the next Cycled Awakening, yeah, it could be Chaos and next rounds. Yeah. 5 units of Rangers. So 2 hours left of work, and I'm getting that 40k education. Good. Have you gotten any games of Kill Team or 40k of your partner? Trying to work out the best way to convince my wife to play. We've started Underworlds, which was good, getting there slowly. Unfortunately for me, my girlfriend Amy is in quarantine for 12 weeks. So I haven't seen her yet. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to for a while. So yeah, not had much luck recently, obviously, because of the separation there. So, but it is just part of this time. We just need to all get through it together, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, just got to stay strong and do what you can. So please, competitive list Deathwatch, build veteran squad builds. So yeah, 10-man units of Vanguard veterans with a biker, a Vanguard vet with a storm shield, a Terminator in, and then 8 other guys with storm bottles and storm shields. Maybe 1 combat weapon in there. So potentially the power maul on the Terminator to keep him cheap, because you're going to kill him off quite quickly because you're going to take saves on him. But the sergeant in the black shield, you could probably give some good weapons to, like a power fist or something, just as a nice little counter punch, which I think you need now. You never used to, but you do need it now as the game's evolving. What tier would you consider Custodes? I mean, they can be good. Your Sanguinary Guard models do not have wings modeled. Is there a tactical reason for this, or is it more an ease of when you're moving them in combat? So there's no tactical reason for it. Literally, the only reason why I haven't got my wings modeled is because I built and painted all of the Blood Angels in a week, and I didn't have time to do the wings. So it was just a case of they got their jump packs on, they're on the right base, they're painted nicely. That's where they're at. I don't know if I really like the model with the wings on as well. So I've just painted the Sanguinor's wings, and he looks good. Is originally I didn't put the wings on him, and I didn't have the wings on Astrath either. I just gave him jump packs, and again, no one had a problem with it. Can Death Guard be competitive? If not, what changes will it take in Psychic Awakening? I don't really know, if I'm honest. They need more units. They just need more units. They just lack, they lack that. They lack 2 wounded models. The only real way to run them, I think, is just mass Terminators. Is probably the only way to run Death Guard at the moment, if you were running pure Death Guard, and maybe Mortarion, but you still need another Psyker to give warp time, because otherwise you can't get it. And you definitely need that in as well. So maybe you take like a Nurgle, pure Nurgle army, so you can take some other stuff. You could take a Possess Bomb with Nurgle. That can make them competitive. You could go all Alpha Legion, an Alpha Legion detachment with the Possess Bomb in, all Nurgle, and then Death Guard to support it, but just Terminators. That'll be all right. Starting Sisters and loved your Sisters video. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys found it fun and engaging. I'm having a hard time deciding whether or not to use Exorcists on my list. Are they worth it? Also, how many squads of Seraphim is viable? I think 3 units of 10. Great. You could take 30 Seraphims, 30 Zephyrins, but I'm not, maybe 1 Exorcist, but I wouldn't run any more than 1. Thinking about starting Tzeentch, want to know your opinion on viability. It completely depends on how you run it. Completely depends. You could run it as Iron Warriors, where you can get Obliterators with a 3+ invulnerable save, but then they can't shoot twice. But then you could run, basically like pure Thousand Suns. They can do quite well with Terminators. They can do well with big units of Rubric. So there's certainly some options there. They got some good little tools. I don't really, again, the characters for me have to have the fly keyword. You don't want characters getting wrapped, and you want characters, especially if they're okay in combat, to be able to heroically intervene over units. In order to do that, you need the fly keyword. So if it can't take a jump pack, it's probably not going in my list. So that's my general principle on it. I don't mind supporting characters without the fly keyword. If they're not good in combat, basically. Please get Jack back on the podcast to talk about Dark Angels post FAQ. Okay, I'll do that. I'll make a note of that and get Jack to give the rundown post FAQ. See what he thinks. Can you explain how and when you use the Blood Angel strat for infantry to heroically intervene? It's a bit confusing. So basically, at the end of the charge phase, if you have any infantry unit in your army, you just say, this unit here could be a unit of scouts, could be a character, and you spend 1 CP, and it can heroically intervene 6 inches towards a close enemy model. And that's how it does it. And if it's within 6, it makes it. Yep. A really, really good stratagem. And I think Space Wolves have got the same. I think. And if they do, that's great. But we'll find out tomorrow. So, tomorrow, guys, I could do a live and I can talk all about my reaction to Orcs. We'll do a live reaction to Orcs. That'll be good. That'll be good fun for us all to enjoy at 6 o'clock. Or I might even do it earlier as soon as I get it. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But either way, it will be on here. And I'll still be going live at 6 o'clock anyway. Do you think there is any real mileage in Awakened Space Wolves? Absolutely. Like, I'll go over my Space Wolf list tomorrow, and it is brutal. But I'll tell you this now, it doesn't contain Ragnar. So he did not make the cut. I've been thinking on and off about purchasing Bulgarins to aid my Custodes with a -1 to hit added to the Vexillas at -1. Could this palette the reroll? Everything's new. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of investment to get that. I don't know if the FAQs come out yet for Guard. I can't remember, but that might get changed to only Guard infantry that it gives -1 to, because at the moment it's everyone, but it feels like it shouldn't be. It feels like it should just be Guard infantry. So we'll see if that may change. So I wouldn't. If I'm totally honest, I wouldn't bother adding in Bulgarin to Custodes, because Custodes do what Bulgarin do anyway. And then when Psychic Awakening comes out, you'll probably get some buffs for staying pure Custodes. And no doubt some of their key units are going to get a huge buff. Huge buff. Because if we look at the consistency that runs through all the other Psychic Awakening, all the key units certainly get a buff. Blood Angels Inceptors any good? Not just for the hype. Not for hyper competitive, of course. Well, they're okay. Again, they've got to jump back on and they can get around, they can keep up, they're quite good. They get the benefit, the 5+, feel no pain if they stay within 6 inches of them. So they're all right. Yeah, they're not a bad unit. Like I wouldn't, if I saw them in the list, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's interesting. A quick question, I guess anyone can answer really. Must declare in which sequence I want to activate all my units in the fight phase before I activate the first. No. In fact, you never want to do that, because you don't want your opponent to know what you're going to activate. You just pick the first unit that you want to activate with. Obviously, you want to know in your head the priority in order, and again, I talk about this at length on the mentorship course in terms of the priority of things. The order in which you make actions in the game is so important, and the top players do not make those mistakes. They are just constantly, keeping the same habits, the same thought process. Also, sometimes I will not charge in with certain units if it gets to a certain point where I'll know that they'll just spend 2 CPs and interrupt, because I'm giving my unit away completely for free. They're basically going to spend 2 CPs to kill my unit. I probably won't do that. I'll let them charge me, then I'll heroically intervene and I'll probably kill them. So you don't always want to charge in with everything. Sometimes just charging in with one thing is the right thing to do. So yeah, in the order in which you do stuff is very, very important. Because if you make a mistake, you'll get absolutely punished for it. I just need to plug us in a second. Oh. It's getting a bit dark in here as well. It's meant to be like daylight savings. Let's see if this helps a minute. That's a bit better. Okay, that's much better, much brighter. It's really hard using my trackpad when this finger doesn't have a fingerprint on anymore. So you actually use the mouse. So I'll head off in a few minutes. I'll pick a couple of last questions. Can you run pure Deathwatch? Absolutely. Oh, Intercessors, probably not. Veterans are the way to go, competitively anyway. Obviously, you can run whatever list you want. Run it in a themed way, have a load of fun with it. But in terms of competitive play, if you want to do well at a tournament, and like my goal is to help people feel confident and comfortable at the tabletop. That's exactly what the course, the mentorship does. The lessons build on the education to really get you right up to speed with everything you need to know about the game, so that when you go to a tournament, you really are prepared. Can you join the VT Discord without being on the mentor program? Unfortunately. So, yeah, it will be being put in there. And obviously that is the amount of work that goes on. Yeah, I'm adding to it all the time. It's crazy how much I'm trying to put into this course. Obviously, the price has stayed the same since September, but the standard of content is going up and up and up the whole way. And because I'm so passionate about supporting, like mental health, every person that signs up from now on, then I'm going to be donating $1 per person per month going forward to everyone that signs up now towards a charity of my choice that, you know, supports men's mental health. Because, you know, I went through some really, really dark times, and the community gave back to me so much. And I'm a very positive person, and I've got a really good outlook on things, and I want to support that. And when I run events, when Vanguard Tactics runs events here in the UK, which it will at some point in the future, then again, it's going to support that as well. So that is what I'm all about, is so that us together, we can lead much happier and healthier lives in using, you know, this hobby, as fantastic as it is, you know, a really good sense of community at events. And that's why I'm so key on sportsmanship as well, because I appreciate that, you know, we're not all great at challenging one another sometimes. We just maintain happier lifestyles, can really enjoy the game, and it's certainly getting better. It really is. The game is improving all the time. The competitive scene is, you know, improving all the time from some of the work that's being done so far. So, yeah, I definitely think my video started a conversation about it, and it started to make a change. And yeah, it's what needed to happen, I think. Legend Toy TV channel. Hi, Steve, you legend. Thank you very much. Are you sure? Are you sure you are not in the SAS? Do you think a pure Phobos force is viable? I was thinking of doing a Blood Ravens pure Phobos force, so I can pick any chapter tactic. Pure Phobos. Well, to answer that question, no, I was not in the SAS. However, I did go through when I was younger. I had. When I was the age of 14, I got picked up by the Royal Navy from completing an aptitude test at my school. And then what happened was, from that point, after that, I got put through military training as a youngster from the age of 15 up to the age of 17. I used to go on training days, military kind of like style operations and stuff to prepare me to become an officer. But then instead, I chose to go down the path of a PE teacher. And then I went to university to study teaching, sports teaching, fell in love with coaching other people. And yeah. What are my thoughts on the Custodes with a Melter Spear versus the regular guard? Jacob, I think, mate, just put as many bodies down on the table as you possibly can. I think that's definitely the way forward. And I'll do my reaction to the Orcs and also the Space Wolves, or depending on how long I think it will be, I might do one on Saturday, one on Sunday. So it gives me, but we'll do a live reaction, okay? Anyway, guys, take care. Have a great evening, whatever you're doing. I'm going to try and get some painting done. I keep saying this, but I'm really going to try and I need to finish these Repentia. So anyway, take care, guys. And I'll see you all very, very soon. See you later.